Freshman year of college has been full of experiences. There has been good, there has been bad, there's been stressful, and there's been unforgettable. My service project at the Indianapolis Educational Reentry Facility, better known as IREF, will forever be one of those unforgettable experiences. Due to the requirement in my V100 class at IUPUI to take part in the Toastmasters group at IREF, I uncovered a hidden joy in speaking. I've always been outgoing in general conversation, but I used to get petrified when I had to present a project in class. This first college service project has gradually changed that fear. At first I thought that I could put little effort into this project because it was not graded. Fear struck again when I realized that we would be speaking in front of prisoners, people who were removed from society for a reason. This observation did not sit too well with me. I became hesitant on whether I wanted to even continue to pursue criminal justice as a major, or if I wanted to run in the other direction just to get away from the project. I decided to go to the first meeting before ditching everything I had worked for since high school. I remember sitting in the chapel at the correctional facility trying not to make eye contact and surround myself with as many IUPUI students as possible to create a wall between the prisoners and myself. Needless to say, my human shield did not work. I decided to make the best of the situation, so I lugged my apprehensive self to the front of the room to fail, miserably. I soon came to the realization that I had friends there, and they wouldn't laugh at me, unless I gave them a reason to. I made the last-second decision to let my obsession with Leonardo DiCaprio bubble up and boil over to get some laughs. Adding some humor gave me so much more confidence than I began with, and it even lightened the mood with the residents. I expanded my people skills drastically, even just on the first day, because we had to do an activity called the wagon wheel, where there are two circles of people, one circle inside the other, each facing each other. We then had to talk for a set amount of time on a certain topic. There was the nerve-wracking expectation for us to carry on a conversation with these correctional facility residents that we had not been exposed to for more than an hour. We ended up becoming a room full of open books by the end of the day. In the process of this project, I have learned so much about the criminal justice system and what goes on inside of it. I now have a better understanding during my J101 class because of this experience. We've gotten the incredible opportunity to hear firsthand what these men have gone through. We got to experience their raw emotion in their speeches when they decide they're comfortable enough to tell us their stories. It is sensational and so empowering. The first speech that comes to mind when I think back on things that I've learned about what they have been through is when John Holman told us about when he realized he had become a shell of the person he used to be. We were told about how a man died right in front of him, and he felt nothing. He was the same person until a dog was brought into the facility, and he learned to love and feel again because of her. Because of the severed contact between these men and the public, Indianapolis is unaware that it holds a modern Martin Luther King Jr. in its prison system. Antonio Jackson, otherwise known as AJ, expresses his immense love he has for his grandmother in almost every speech he gives. He's so vivid speaking of her that it feels like we know her. She was his everything. He has a way of speaking that demands your attention and leaves you begging for more. His enthusiasm, his tone, his movements, this all creates an emotional roller coaster ride in just one speech. He spoke about our class once, saying that he was so proud of everything that each of us had overcome. One of our students' parents had never come to her basketball games, and he applauded the person that she's become in spite of that neglect. Another was the first in her family to graduate, and he spoke so highly of her because she had to fight so many obstacles to get there, but she did it anyways. Along with the praise came the criticism. This was not a bad thing because I myself became aware of things that I had not known I was doing during my speeches. I know now how to use the floor in a purposeful manner, which has helped me immensely in my speech class. I've also learned to use meaningful hand gestures, so it looks like I planned them and they help rather than hurt my speeches. Before the beginning this project, I was not aware of how much a correctional facility could teach me about myself, including skills that I already had and skills that I needed to improve on. People should not avoid correctional facilities, but rather volunteer at them and get to know these people, because that's exactly what they are. They're just people, not criminals. They're people just like you and me. The only difference is that they got caught making their mistakes. George Bush once said, "America is the land of second chance, and when the gates of the prison open, the path ahead should lead to a better life." These men are taking advantage of exactly that. They're choosing the path to a better life and helping us to continue on ours.